Today I'm going to show you a quick, easy recipe for making bread. So I've prepared in this bowl approximately 6 cups of flour. Because I don't have actual measuring cups here in Korea, I have to use this cup. So it's basically 1 to 2. 1 part water, 2 parts flour. So this is whole wheat flour, very finely ground. 3 cups of water. This is 1 tablespoon of yeast. And this is a teaspoon of salt. Take the water and add it to a larger bowl. The yeast and the salt. Mix the yeast into the water and then let it sit for a few minutes. Okay, now we let the yeast and water and salt sit for a little while, forming some bubbles. We're going to add the flour. Combine it a little bit. You don't need to knead this bread until you're ready to make a loaf. You don't have to mix a lot, but you do have to get it all wet. So we're pretty much done mixing it. I'm just scraping the sides. I'm going to let this sit here for a couple hours. It's going to rise up and then it's going to collapse on itself. And then that's when you want to put it in the refrigerator. Or if you want to make a loaf right then, if you're impatient, you can go ahead. This can sit in the refrigerator for several days. And then it'll just get more and more sour, add a little more flavor to it. So it's actually better to let it sit a while. This will make either 3 small loaves or 2 really good sized loaves of bread. Let it sit covered up. I just put a plastic bag over mine. That's pretty much it until you're ready to make the loaves. And cut. Now your bread is ready to shape into a loaf. So I took approximately half of the dough. You can see it's pretty tacky, but it's firm. So I'm going to knead it for a little bit until it's less sticky. Knead it for about 5 minutes. It's ready to shape into a loaf. So what I do is I take all the sides and fold it to the end so that it's all smooth on top. And I put a layer of flour on the bottom so that the bread doesn't stick to the pan. So like that. Put some of the excess flour down so it doesn't just burn to the pan, and smooth it on the top. Now I'm going to let it sit for about 15 to 30 minutes, depending. I don't want it to sit too long or it'll just spread around the pan. But I'm going to start the oven in about 10 minutes or so that it's nice and hot. And also, I'm going to take a metal pan with water. Let's wash there. Put some water in it and put it in the bottom of the oven for when I turn it on, because that's going to make a nice steam in the oven, which will caramelize the crust of the bread. It'll turn it into a nice golden brown color. Okay, so I'm preheating the oven. I'm turning it up as high as it will go. This oven goes up to 250 degrees centigrade. And I have the pan of water in the bottom. So now we're ready to score the bread. I'm about to put it in the oven, and I like to cut mine crossways like this. Also shape this into like baguette or different type of loaf form. I just usually do the round bowl because that's what I like. So cut one way, see it spreading apart. Want that a little bit deeper. We do this so it doesn't explode all over the place. And if you don't cut it deep enough, it'll pretty much just bust out one of the sides. So you want to let it have room and the ability to expand and grow, because it's going to pretty much double in size when I put it in the oven. So the water is starting to boil in the pan, so we know it's at least 210 degrees. Let it cook for about 40 to 60 minutes, depends on how dark and hard you want your crust. So you could do an hour, and then it'll be a nice dark brown, hard crust. I don't like to cook mine that long. I do 40 so that the crust is not too crispy and doesn't cut up your gums. Okay, now the bread should be done. Let's take a look at it. There we go. See, this bread is pretty well done. Beautiful, I might say so myself. See, not stuck to the pan. There we go. One loaf of bread.